Okay, so in this video, I'll be showing you how I make this logo animation right here in the Fusion page of Davinci Resolve. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so now we're here in the edit page, and what you want to do is to start a new Fusion composition. So we want to go here, and we want to make this logo composition. Okay, and we want the clip duration to be about 3 seconds. Okay, so create. We want to go here and pull down logo composition right here. Get that playhead over it, go into the Fusion page, and then now we're here. And so once we get here, all we'll have is a media out. So the first thing you want to do, we're going to do Shift Spacebar and pull in a background node, add, connect that background node to the media out. Next, we want the background to be white, and so let's go over to the inspector and change the color of the background node to white. There it is. Okay, and so now we have the basis of what the logo will be on. We have the background and we have the media out. The media out will display this information or the logo to the screen. Now, over here in the media pool, you want to make sure that you have your logo broken up into its different components. Now, I have three different components for my logo. I have the camcorder, which I'll put here as a media in. I have the big part of my text for RAC media right here, and then I have the small text right here. Okay, media 1, media 2, media 3. And you can't see these now because they have not been connected to my background and media out. And so to connect them, just pull the connector from the right hand side and pull it right up against the right hand side of the background. Here, it will automatically make a merge node for you, and it will merge. Next, the same thing for my bigger text. Just pull that connector right here to that merge node. It'll make another merge node. Then pull that media there, media 3, and that will make another merge node. Okay. Now, as you'll see, these elements need to be positioned better, right? Because my smaller text is really too big. We can see it all, which is great, but it is too big at this point. So what we need next are transform nodes to transform it, to move these elements around. You want to grab that transform node, hold it over that line until you see it turning blue and green, and then let go. Do that for all three. Transform node, okay? For all three. All right, so let's just kind of move this around a little bit. So now we have all of our elements in place and they can all be transformed, right? Okay, let's move these over just a little bit there. Now, the next thing that we want to do is to get everything the way it needs to look at the very end, okay? So let's go back to transform 3, which is my smaller text, and then we want to make that smaller, and then we want to change the Y position of it and just position that right there. Okay, I want it over centered just a little bit more. All right, about right there is about center. And then I want my camcorder down just a little bit right there. I actually want my smaller text just a little bit smaller, so let's decrease the size in the transform node to make it about right there. Right? Now how does that look? Let's see. I think it looks okay. I think my camcorder needs to be, does it need to be over to the right just a little bit? I think it's fine, okay? And so this is the way my logo will look when it's done, all right? And so now all we have to do is just go ahead and animate this logo, and we'll use these transform nodes to do so. Now, what I want it to do is I want both words to fly out from the sides, and then I want the camcorder to drop down on the words. I want you to see the impact and then I want them all to go back into its rightful spot, okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to animate each part by itself. We're just going to focus on one at a time, okay? And so first, let's focus on these small words over here. And so we're going to go to the beginning, and we're going to select this transform node. Now, as you can see, as we look over at the inspector here, we see these little diamonds here. That means that we can change these keyframes as we move these around, or whatever we're moving around, we can change a keyframe, or we can apply a keyframe. And all a keyframe does is says that at this point, we want this thing to do this right here, or we want this thing to be in this specific state. And when you have two keyframes, the system will automatically change it between each keyframe, okay? You'll see what I mean. So, all right. And so as we have this transform node 3 here from my small text selected, let's go over to, let's say, frame 10. All right. And let's put a keyframe here, symbolizing that that's the way we want it to be at the very end of our animation, okay? And so when the animation starts, let's go back to frame 0, and then let's go to the center here, and then let's go ahead and position this off the screen when it starts, because we want it to fly in from the right, all right? You'll notice that it automatically makes a keyframe for me right there. You see that it's red, okay? So now if we start moving this as if we're playing it, we see that it's going to fly in, okay? So if we hit play, we see that it flies in, okay? All right, I want it to fly in just a little bit faster. And so what I'm going to do is put, instead of a keyframe at 10, I actually want the keyframe to be at 6, and I want it to be complete at 6. And so let's do this. I'm going to go back, take that keyframe off. I just hit Control Z. I'm going to go to 6. I'm going to put a keyframe here, meaning that I want it to end here at 6. And then we have a keyframe at the beginning. We'll adjust the center position to off the screen. We're going to get it off the screen. All right. Now it's going to play back a bit faster. So, okay, I didn't put a keyframe at 6. Yes, I did. All right. So there it is. So now if we play it back, it comes out a bit faster. That's exactly what we want. All right. Okay, it's looking great. So let's go ahead and stop that. Now we need to animate the next set of text. And so what I want is for when that text comes out, I want the other text to come out shortly after that. Okay. So at 6, this thing is completely done. All right. And I want the next set of text, my bigger text, my bigger title, to be completely done at about 10. So what I'm going to do here at 6, I'm going to put a keyframe over here for the center, right there. And then at 10, I'm going to put another keyframe for the center here, right? All right. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna test this and see how it looks. Okay, so at 10, we want it to be out. At 6, we want it to be off the screen. And so at 6, I'm going to adjust the center way over here, off the screen, okay? So now let's see how that looks. And so now the small text comes in, the big text comes in. Okay, let's play it, see how it looks. Let's see, 1, 2, it's good and quick. Shoom, 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 okay. Shoom, 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 shoom. Yep, it's nice and quick, I like that. 1, 2, okay, great, so we're done there. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do next is we're going to animate this camcorder falling down on it, okay? And when it falls down, I want everything to move down a little bit. So now we know that at the point of 10, everything is where it needs to be, okay? And so my camcorder is transform 1 here. And so I'm going to go here to transform 1, select that for the camcorder at the top. And then for the center at 10, we know I'm going to put a keyframe there. And then let's say at about, let's give it a beat. Let's go to 14, put another keyframe here. But then, so that means that I want these two to come out. They're there. Give it a second, then I want that to drop down. Okay. About at 14, I want it to drop. All right. So it's going to be there. Let's put another keyframe here. Okay. Let's take this keyframe from here. But at about 16, we're going to put another keyframe here. And then what we're going to do is make this drop down. And so it's going to drop about right here. Let's exit back. Okay. 16 is going to be here. We wanted to come back to about 24. Let's put a keyframe there at 24. All right. At 16 is going to be the drop. It's going to drop down about right here. And then it's going to come back to this keyframe that we just placed there. Okay. So comes in, that drops, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. It's pretty good. It's not bad. All right. Now, the next thing that we need to do is to make the other words come down with it just a bit. So we know that at 16, it drops down and then it bounces back at frame 24. And so let's get the big text first. All right. My big title. So I know that at 16, it drops down. Okay. And so let's put a keyframe at 15 here to hold the spot. At 16, we know that it's going to drop down. So let's move that center. Before we do that, let's go back to my camcorder. What is it going to be at 16 and 24? Okay, it's going to drop. So back to my big text here. We're going to put a key marker or a keyframe at 15. At 16, we're just going to drop down. At 24, we know it's going to bounce back. So I'm going to go ahead and put a marker or a keyframe at 24, right? All right. So now at 15 or at 16, we're going to make that text drop down. We're going to go back up to the center, go here. And let's make it drop down about right here. And we know that at 24, it's going to bounce back. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. That looks pretty good. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Come, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Not bad, not bad. Now all we have to do is animate the bottom text. So we already know that at frame 16 and 24, it's going to bounce down. So we're going to go over here and select the transform 3 for my bottom text. Let's go to frame 15 first. And we're going to go ahead and put a keyframe here to hold the position as where it already is. We're going to go over to frame 24 and put another keyframe because that's what we wanted to come back to. We know at 16, it's going to drop down. So now we have frame 16 selected. Transform node, transform 3 is selected. So now let's just go ahead and move it. Not that way, but let's move it down here so that it bounces down with everything in place. And then now, because we have our keyframe already set at 24, we know that it's going to bounce down and come back. Okay, so now let's play it. Shoom, shoom, boom. Shoom, shoom, boom. Not bad, okay? Now, that's working. Now, what we're going to do is adjust the camcorder a bit, okay? So now, with the camcorder, let's go ahead and select the transform node here. I want it to be off the screen and then come in and drop. So at frame 12 that we already have, let's go ahead and adjust this to be off the screen for that Y. Okay. Now it's going to come in hold on. My 10 also needs to be, let me see, I don't think we need that frame there. Okay, so this starts here. It's going to be off the screen. It jumps in, then it comes back. When it bounces back, when it comes all the way down, I actually want it to go a little bit past my large title, just to make the compression look a little bit more realistic. So my Y right here, I'm going to go ahead and make it come in just a little bit more right there. Okay. Now you'll see that when it drops down past my bigger title and then it bounces back. So now let's play it. Shoom, shoom, shoom. It's pretty good. Shoom, shoom, shoom. Boom, boom, boom. That's exactly what we want. Now just to make it look just a little bit smoother, what we'll do is go ahead and open up our splines here. Okay, we have that. Let's go ahead and hit our button here so that we can see everything. And if we just hit F, you'll see that it will smooth out everything automatically. So now let's play it again. It's just gonna look a little bit smoother. Flies out, bam, and that's it. And that's all I really want to do. Make those titles fly out, make the camcorder drop, and there you have it. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you just that simple animation. Let's go ahead and hit stop. Let's go into the edit page. And as you can see, the composition is here. We play it, it drops down, right? And now I can use this in any of my videos. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That's nice. I can use this in any of my videos as my video intro for my logo. And so if you'd like to see more, I plan on doing more videos on how to animate text and titles, things that can help you to get more engagement in your videos. And so if you'd like to see more, just go ahead and subscribe and come back, and we'll see what else we can do in Davinci Resolve in the Fusion page. Hopefully this was a bit helpful to you. Okay, thanks for watching.